put that right there. How's that? And you have it. Let's put it here. I'll sit here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you would go ahead and find a seat.
Tell them they're being live streamed.
This event is being live streamed on uncabulldogs.com, so I'd like to say hello to everybody watching on the World Wide Web. At this time, I'd like to introduce Director of Athletics, Janet Cohn.
Thanks for the applause. I could use that these days. Thank you so much for being here. This is an exciting and historic day for UNC Asheville Bulldogs because we are reintroducing our women's swimming program, which would allow us to have our 15th sport, and that is very, very important for all of our Bulldogs. It's also a special day when you get to allow and help someone to realize their dream and to become a head coach for the very first time. And I would say, I won't be like Eddie and reminisce too far back, but I do remember there's certain moments in your athletic career where you make a team or you get to compete in a championship or to be called a head coach or an athletic director. So this is a special day. And before I introduce our new head coach, our 15th head coach at UNC Asheville, I do want to recognize her mother who drove over. Thank you so much for being here. And do you know she already has her UNC Asheville gear on, so we really love that. So thank you for being here. I'm here to introduce you today to Elizabeth Lykins. Elizabeth has a stellar career in swimming. But before we talk about her athletic career, I also want to recognize the fact that she herself was a collegiate swimmer at the College of Charleston and actually was an outstanding academic student athlete where she led that team academically and also was the MVP and captain at the College of Charleston. And we all know that's one of our sister schools that is a wonderful academic institution. And also, I think it's very important to realize not only was she a stellar athlete herself, but she has begun her career and has worked her way to this day where she is now going to be a head coach. She was an assistant coach at Colgate. She was also an assistant at Georgia Southern where she got her master's degree. And presently, she is in her 5th year as assistant coach at Florida Gulf Coast, which is a school that she is now going to compete against because they will be in the swimming conference that we're in. And I think her words to her team as they are getting ready to compete in the championship is you better enjoy this last championship because the Bulldogs are going to be there trying to knock them off in the future. Without any further ado, let me introduce you to Elizabeth Lykins, our 15th head coach and the head coach of our women's swimming program. Elizabeth. We want to make sure as of today, February the 1st, that she is recruiting in the right attire.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Oop, I'm taking her paper.
Good afternoon. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm both humbled and honored to have this opportunity as the head women's swimming coach here at UNC Asheville. I can't think of a better place to begin my career as a head coach than this university and in this wonderful city. I've had the pleasure of coaching with many coaches and mentors in the past 10 years, and I'd like to thank a couple of them. I'd like to thank Nikki Alvarez, Stephen Youngbluth, and most recently, Neil Studd for all of their advice and mentoring they've given me over my assistant coaching career. The UNC Asheville Athletic Department has made great strides on and off the field, and the women's swimming program will be no different. We will work equally hard in the pool and out of the pool to uphold the pride that the Bulldogs already have. As swimming is revitalized on campus, as Janet pointed out, we'll be joining the Coastal Collegiate Swimming Association. This conference is the same conference in which all Big South universities that support swimming and diving compete. I'm coming from a program that's currently a member of that. We were a startup program 5 years ago, and Florida Gulf Coast University really set the benchmark by winning 3 straight conference titles. In years to come, we hope that Asheville will not only meet that standard, but also surpass it. I plan to start recruiting immediately. Thank you, Eliza, for already introducing yourself. And I'm so fortunate that the state of North Carolina has incredible USA Swimming club programs already in existence. I'll search high and low for the best student athlete I can find, but I hope that my program's backbone will be from homegrown athletes. By the way, if any of you out there have any remaining eligibility, I'd like to speak with you afterwards. Let me know. I'll expect a lot from my athletes, but most importantly, I expect they'll have fun, they'll grow as individuals, they'll receive a quality education, and they'll represent the university to my standards and those of my peers. I'd like to thank Janet and your staff and the search committee for putting together this wonderful occasion. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mom, for driving up from Athens to surprise me. And I can't say it enough how excited I am for this opportunity, and go Dogs.
Do we have any questions for Coach Lykins? Jim?
Can you educate us on the composition of a swimming team? How many members, disciplines, and so forth?
Sure. A full squad consists of 18 swimmers, and that's what you're allowed to take to the conference meet. You don't have to have 18 to start with, but obviously you have a better chance at scoring the most points with that. The disciplines include the 4 strokes, butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle in varying distances depending on the abilities of that athlete. There are sprint events all the way to the distance event. The longest collegiate event is the mile. There is diving and swimming as well. At the moment, we will not be participating in that portion of it, maybe in future years to come. And we also hold the individual medley, and that's where you combine all 4 strokes as a discipline.
What's a typical season date-wise? When do you compete?
You're allowed to start practice the first day of your university. So usually in late August, the team will gather and start practicing. Your first dual meet is sometime around late September, early October. Championships run through February. This year, conference championships are February 16th, 17th, and 18th, with NC2A Division I Nationals being March 15th, 16th, and 17th.
Talk a little bit about the conference, because, like I say, we're so used to the Big South, but this
Sure.
is a different kind of conference for us.
Right. The Coastal Collegiate Swimming Association is 4 conferences put together. It's a bit of a mega conference. Every university that participates in swimming from the Big South, every university participates in swimming from the Southern Conference, the Atlantic Sun, and the MEAC. We make the 14th women's swimming program, and I believe there are 6 or 7, don't quote me on that, men's programs in the Coastal Collegiate Conference. So it allows for better competition by putting all of those conferences together, and no one would like to host a conference championship with just 3 teams. So when you put all those conferences together, we gain a super conference, and it makes it very competitive.
Talk about where the championships are presently held.
Sure. Currently, or this year, and for the previous year, we've been holding our conference championships in Athens, Georgia, at the University of Georgia facility. The Ramsey Center is the name of that. They have an incredible facility, and lucky for us, the SEC championships are the same weekend, so they're away. So it works out for us that we can rent their facility, which is world-class, and it gives our conference an incredible environment for our student athletes to succeed. Sure.
Can you talk about, I assume maybe the pool here is not regulation, or is it?
The pool here is 6 lanes and 25 yards, and that is regulation.
Okay, are you planning to host any meets here, dual meets?
Sure, we would like to host home dual meets. We'll also be on the road for a bit. There are a couple accommodations that we would make to the pool, and if we're able to get those in prior to the next school year starting, then we'll be able to host home meets. If not, then I think in the next 2 years we'll be able to. But we will be hosting home dual meets or tri-meets when you just hold more than 1 team, and that's fine. In swimming, you can do that.
Actually, that's a great question, because Elizabeth had already asked me, she's already got her plans about getting starting blocks, and much like what happens in track, you now hire people to come in and time these events like track meets do. They bring somebody else come so we don't have to have that capability here. So she's already planning, so we may have what we call the all-comers meet, and we want all of you to come swim a couple laps, and then we'll have a real meeting.
Are you up for that? Michelle raised her hand. Thanks, Michelle. We'll hold you to that. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Oops, I don't want to trip. I want to step back over tonight, and I know Pat does a great job. We are going to have Bulldogs Live tonight at Lou Ellis at 6 o'clock, and our new head women's swimming coach is also going to be part of that show. We'd love for you or any of your friends and family to join us tonight. Eddie and Betsy will also, Eddie will be calling in, but it's one more chance to introduce our community to our newest Bulldog, and we're certainly excited about that opportunity. So I think, is anything else, Matt, you have for this?
I think we're good.
Well, thank you again for coming, and be sure to stop and say hello, because that is one of our trademarks at UNC Asheville. We always welcome people to our campus and try to help them in any way that we can. So we want Elizabeth and her mom today to feel like they've got 20 new friends before they leave. So thank you so much. Thank you.